Hey crafty family, it is me, and today I want to talk about something I get asked every now and again. I get asked what my favorite, or what are like my go-to craft supplies. Like I'll get emails or messages like, what if I was gonna buy, like a certain amount of things, like what would be the things that I can't live without. So I thought I would do a video on the top 10 craft supplies that I can't live without. Craft tools, not as much. I don't know. Some of them are supplies, I guess. Most of them are tools. I don't know. I don't know how you'd categorize it. Just stuff that I use in my craft room. Let's put it that way. That I can't live without, with some bonus items as well. So first thing I can't live without, obviously, is my Gloria glue gun, which is my Surebonder detail glue gun. I cannot live without this thing, even though it's getting dirty and yucky. And I named it Gloria. And if you ever watch Victorian Dreams by Lee, she has the Glue Gun Chronicles, and her glue gun is named Charlie. Well, Charlie is Gloria's boyfriend. So anyway, I can't live without my glue gun. And I'm not doing this in any real particular order. It's just kind of 1 through 10, just, not really in a particular order. So that's the first thing I can't live without. Second thing I can't live without is my Aleene's tacky glue. I love Aleene's tacky glue. I use it like crazy. It's a really great white glue, and it's nice and thick, and it holds real well, and it sets up really quickly, so you don't have to wait around. It's just a good all-around glue. I mean, you could really use Elmer's glue. You can use any glue for just basic stuff, but I just seem to like this one a lot for, but also, as a runner-up, my second favorite glue is Fabri-Tac, because although Aleene's is good for paper and chipboard and stuff like that, this is great for not only fabric, because it's called Fabri-Tac. Not only is this good for fabric, but it is also good for metal items, believe it or not. So if you're doing a project and you don't want to use E6000 and you have some small metal bits, you can use Fabri-Tac. Holds remarkably well, dries clear. So that's another great glue. But yeah, Aleene's and or Fabri-Tac. The other thing is Gesso, and let's knock things over. Okay, anyway, Gesso. I make homemade Gesso. You can look up, I've shown videos of me making homemade Gesso, or you could buy store-bought Gesso. This is like, I think, the only store-bought Gesso I have. So whichever you prefer, it doesn't matter, as long as you have Gesso. Gesso is probably really high on my list of things that I love to use. And basically, if you don't know what Gesso is basically a base for putting on canvases, but it's white generally. They have clear and black, and you can make it any color you want, but typically the go-to is like white Gesso. And basically it has something called marble dust in it, and it's also got an adhesive in it, and marble dust gives it a little bit of tooth or grit, so that when you put other things on top of it, like pastels or paints or colored pencils, it shows up real nice. So I'm sure most of you know what Gesso is, but yeah, Gesso I can't live without. It's a good primer for your canvases and for your journal pages and what have you. So I love my homemade version, so it doesn't matter to me. I'll use anything. Also, I wanted to mention, some people, another glue, we'll go back to glues for a minute, because I meant for that to be a more general glue than just Aleene's. But another glue is Mod Podge, which I use tremendously. I probably use Mod Podge more than I use Aleene's almost. But I just happen to like Aleene's as far as a regular glue. But Mod Podge is great. Some people use matte. That's not matte medium. Some people use matte medium, and you could do that as well. But to me, matte medium is more expensive than just using Mod Podge, because you can make a faux Mod Podge by taking white Elmer's glue and water and mixing it together, and that gives you a Mod Podge type of glue. And it's very cheap to do it that way. That's mostly what I do. I have my homemade Mod Podge in a little container, and that's what I use 9 times out of 10. So sorry that I'm a little all over the place. I forgot to mention that. But some people like matte medium. I personally don't like using matte medium as a Mod Podge glue because it's more expensive. And I wouldn't pay that much money to use as just a paper glue when Mod Podge and water works just the same. So there's that. Okay, and then the next thing is stencils. Stencils are one of my favorite things to use. You can get all kinds of stencils, all different sizes, all different shapes. I have just some examples of some tiny stencils that I got here. You can get all different stuff. You can make your own stencils. I have a video about making stencils using your glue gun. You can also cut them on a Cricut machine. You can use, you can get a piece of acetate and you cut with a utility knife. You know, there's all kinds of ways. Or you could just buy some stencils. These are really small ATC stencils that I got from Joggles. Joggles.com has these cute little stencils. So, you know, stencils is one of my favorite things. Aside from stencils is a brayer. This is a brayer. They make different kinds of brayers, but as long as it rolls and has like a kind of rubbery, some of them have a harder rubber than others, but these are good for spreading paint, or if you glue something and you want to press it down. These are good for also inking, putting on your ink pad and then spreading the ink. These are obviously great for your jelly plate, for people that have the jelly plate. But yeah, brayers are something I can't live without. The next thing, the 7th thing that I cannot live without is sprays. And that could mean color sprays like Tattered Angels or Lindy's, or just spray bottles like spray bottles of water or spray bottles of homemade sprays that I make like this, which of course need to be mixed. But I make homemade sprays as well, which are economical and work just as well as any other spray. So any kind of spray that you could think of is in that category. So, but probably the most thing I use is my spray bottle of water. I use that a lot. So that's number 7. Number 8 is makeup sponges. And these little guys, these were given to me in a Happy Mail, but these little guys are great for pouncing on ink or paint through a stencil or what have you, or using ink to ink edges of things. Well, I don't know why I did my nails. You don't usually ink your nails, but like the edges of paper. So makeup sponges are a must. They're great for, you know, applying different mediums to things. So those are definite must have, and these work great. These are great for using through stencils. I like these more than like the stencil brushes, like the pouncer brushes. I don't like those. I like makeup sponges better. I think that they apply the paint or ink better through a stencil. And let's see, number 9, the thing that I like is some sort of scraper, whether it be a credit card or like this, something to apply like your texture paste or what have you, or to scrape and make like, you know, patterns and things. But just to be able to like apply things with a card makes it a lot easier. You can get these, you get them all the time in the mail, like these kinds, or you can use an expired credit card. But a good set of palette knives are cheap, and they work really well for spreading texture paste through a stencil and stuff like that. So, very good, very good. And last but not least, number 10 is... Oh, no, that's not number 10. I'm missing one. Right? Yeah, I'm missing one. Okay, this is actually number 9, I think. Well, whichever. Modeling paste. Modeling paste is something I cannot live without. I love my modeling paste. Homemade. I have homemade modeling paste. I have store-bought modeling paste. Love it, love it, love it. Can't live without making, you know, texture paste, modeling paste, all the same thing basically. And then the last thing is in the number 10 that I forgot was small scissors like these. Small scissors either like these or like these. Something where you can use to get into small areas like fussy cutting. These scissors are great for that. So I like me some small scissors. So those are 10 things that I like that I can't live without in my craft room. And that's the truth. I really can't live without these things. However, I do have a few bonus items to go over because I thought that you might be interested in a few more items. So, just to keep going on that list is my Fiskars cutter. I like this specific cutter because it's got the round blade. I don't know if you could see that. It's got the round blade that you put pressure on this and it cuts. I love this kind of cutter better than the kind, let's see if I have one over here. Yeah, I do. Better than these kind with the little thingamabobbers. With these kind, because these tend to rip your pages. They don't cut very cleanly. And the guillotine cutter, I love my guillotine cutter, but it's kind of big and bulky. So this is, I think these are great because you can cut through a lot of paper with these. You just keep going over it and pressing down. And you can actually cut through quite a lot of papers. Like I've cut through entire journals before to even up the pages. And this sucker will go right through them. So I can't live without this Fiskars cutter. I don't know what it's called other than the Fiskars. I don't know. It takes blade style F. That's all I know. But yeah, it's this one. It's this one if it helps. I think they sell it at, you know, Joann's and Michael's and whatnot. And let's see, the other bonus thing is my jelly plate, which I'm not going to get out right now, but my jelly plate, can't live without it. Love my jelly plate. That is definitely a must-have. And then there's baby wipes, whether they're homemade or store-bought baby wipes. Can't live without those. They are important for cleaning up quickly and for cleaning off my hands. They're great for removing paint off your hands and off your surface around you quickly. And you can save them when you're done using them and get some colorful things to use in your mixed media. So I save them all. All the ones that end up being pretty anyway. Some of them turn out really muddy and nasty, but all the ones that are kind of pretty, I save them and I put them in here, and you can use them in your mixed media. So that's a bonus with those. And let's see, circle and corner punches. I like to have a couple of circle punches, like a 1 inch, a 1.5, a 2 inch, a 2.5. Those are good to have on hand for layering circles. And then also a corner punch of some kind. I have a couple different corner punches, and I'm making a mess because the little things are coming out. But anyway, a corner punch is definitely a must-have. And then embossing powder, which I don't have any like right in front of me, but embossing powder for making embossed images with stamps and what have you. And of course, embossing ink. Embossing ink is definitely a must, and they sell, I'm trying to find mine. I'm not sure I'll be able to find it. I don't know where it is, to be honest. Anyway, Versamark, that's the most popular embossing ink, and I love Versamark. That's my favorite. I haven't yet found one that's better than Versamark. And then stamps. Stamps are, you know, some of my most favorite things to use in my crafting is stamps. You know, whether they're cling stamps or they're the wood stamps, any kind of stamps that you can get your hands on are great for mixed media, for card making, for ATCs, for tags, for pretty much anything you can think of. stamping is the best. Stamping is great. I love stamping. Can I say that anymore? I love stamping. Inks. And some of my favorite inks are the Distress Oxide inks. And I also love the regular Distress inks. So both inks are great, but any inks that you like will work. I mean that in a general sense because inks are just a very important part of crafting, I feel. So having those is awesome. And then last but not least, I think one of my favorite things to have on hand are my mixed media mashup cards. Yeah, these are totally a must-have in my eyes because when I'm feeling like I can't think of what should I do next with a project, I can just pick a card and be like, oh, paint and ink sprays. Sure, that's a good idea. I can take my, paint sprays or ink sprays and add it, like it gives you like a little boost of inspiration. And then you can also play the mixed media mashup game or follow along with our live stream, which is every Monday night at 9:30. Is it 9:30 or 9 o'clock? I don't remember. I think it's 9:30 Central Time. We do mixed media mashup where I pick cards and do in my journal and everybody follows along. That's in the live stream and they work on the same cards that I do. But you can get a free copy of my mixed media mashup cards either by joining my Facebook group, which will be linked below, the Pink Poodle Pack Creative Crafty Playground. You can join the group and get cards that way. That's probably the easiest way because you can download them right from the files. Or you can email me at pinkpoodlecrafts@gmail.com and I could send you a copy that way. But yeah, I definitely advise you to join our group because our group is so much fun. You would love our group if you're not in it already. It's an awesome group of ladies and gentlemen. There's a couple of guys I think in there, at least one. And we just have a great time and it's such a great group and I've made a lot of good friends in that group and so has so many other people. And it's just a very supportive, wonderful group of people who are very nice and very supportive. And yeah, it's just great. I definitely would suggest to join that group for sure. All the links are in the description below. And I think that's it. I think that's everything. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head that, I mean, I have so many things I could say, honestly. I mean, really, there's just so many things. I love craft supplies, as we all do. But I don't feel it's, like if you're just starting out, I think if you slowly work on getting the things that I mentioned in this video, I think you will definitely be on your way to, to having a stash, and you'll find that you use these things a lot, especially if you do mixed media and stuff. Obviously you need paper and whatnot and things to work on, and I should have probably mentioned that as well, but I don't know. I just think that it depends on what you want to do with your crafting. It depends on what type of crafting you want to do. You have to choose what works best for you and what will work best for you. These are just the things that I personally love very much. So yeah, and these are things that I just love and can't live without they're things that I tend to gravitate towards a lot. So that might not be what you gravitate towards. Who knows? You have to see. But if if you're anything like me, then you probably do gravitate towards those things. And I probably missed a bunch of things or left out things because there are other adhesives besides Aleene's and Mod Podge. I mean, there are tapes, double-sided tapes. There are glossy accents. You know what I mean? There are so many things that you can get. You just have to pick, I just went with the basics. The stuff that could get you by is some Aleene's and Mod Podge, and you don't need anything else. You could get by. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can get by for a long time with just Aleene's and some Mod Podge. Use this to decoupage, use this to put down heavier stuff. You're done. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, and your glue gun, I would say, actually. you know, but really you don't even need that. You don't need a glue gun. You can actually honestly do everything with these two things. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're just starting out, get the basics and, you know, don't worry about all the other fancy stuff. You're going to hear people all the time say, oh, use your matte medium. I use matte medium. Don't. In my opinion, you're going to spend so much money on matte medium compared to Aleene's, where you get this huge bottle for $3 and, you know, a bottle of matte medium. Matte medium is not meant to be as a glue. Matte medium is actually meant to be a matte base for pigments or paints. So you're supposed to mix your paint with this, and yes, it is a glue type of thing. It is a glue, it's an acrylic binder, you know what I mean? But it's meant to mix with paint to kind of thin your paint out some, or to mix some pigments in to make paints, kind of. So it's not, it wasn't initially meant to be a glue. Not, you can use it as a glue, absolutely, but it's more expensive than a Mod Podge. It's much more expensive. So you can make your own Mod Podge at home, and trust me when I tell you, some Elmer's glue and water does the trick every time. I've never once had a problem. I don't buy Mod Podge anymore. I probably have some Mod Podge, but I prefer my Elmer's glue and water. I have like the specialty Mod Podges, like the Sparkle Mod Podge and this Mod Podge, because I had bought a bunch of those years and years ago, and I still have them. But for regular Mod Podge, this is what I use: Elmer's glue and water. And even if I had all the money in the world, I would still use Elmer's glue and water. Do you know what I mean? And I would still use my own gesso that I make. They're just not, it's just, to me, it's not worth, I can't see spending that kind of money on matte medium to use. And since I have it, you know, I have it, you know, I'll use it because I'm part of the Deco Arts Helping Artist program. So, you know, I have some of these things, so I'll use them for whatever. But I haven't even opened this yet, but I'll use it, and I want to use it with my pigments that I have. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to use it for what it's intended for. But you can use it as a glue if you want to. But I don't want you to feel like, because you hear all these people say, use your matte medium to put this down, I'm using matte medium. Don't think you have to run out and buy matte medium. You can use Mod Podge for everything they're saying. Use Mod Podge. You know, and if they're tacking things, like I hear people saying when they use the gel medium, and they'll say they're using gel medium to hold down heavy items. I don't trust that. Like, if they're taking like metal items, like they'll take a metal item like this and put gel medium on it and glue it down. And I personally don't feel that that's strong enough, but that's just my opinion. You could do whatever you want. I don't feel that that is strong enough. I feel you at least need Fabri-Tac, and if it's something heavy, I would use E6000, but Fabri-Tac will do the job more than gel medium will, in my opinion. Because this stuff is a really, really strong glue, and it seems to grab pretty well to metal, but I can't see gel medium doing that. It's not meant for that, you know what I mean? And it's, well, this isn't meant for metal either, but it says Bonds fabric, lace, glass, leather, wood, and trims. It doesn't say metal, but it does work on metal because I've used it. I've used gel medium before and had things fall apart, so that's why I don't know what kind of gel medium they're using, but yeah, gel medium to me does not work as a heavy-duty adhesive, but you know, you might have but different luck. I don't know what to tell you, but that's just my opinion. You don't have to spend the money on gel medium and matte medium. You just don't, in my opinion. So anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to you. I hope it gave you some insight on some things that I like to use, and I don't know. Oh, and also I will put links in the description below for pretty much everything I just talked about and where you can get it. So I'll put a link where you can get everything I just talked about. So I hope that's helpful to you. Yeah, that's it. I hope you give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I really, really would like you to subscribe, because I watched my analytics and it said that a lot of people that are watching my videos watch my videos, but they're not subscribing. So subscribe. This way you will get further videos that, you know, they will come up when you you know what I mean, they'll come up when you click on YouTube. You might see them in their recommendations, so you don't miss a video, because I might have something helpful. I don't know, maybe I don't. Maybe you want to unsubscribe. That's fine too. But if you could subscribe, that would be great. And that's it. I hope you have a great rest of your week or weekend, because now we're at, what is it, Sunday? Wow, weekend flew by, didn't it? Holy moly. Leave a comment below and let me know what your favorite craft supplies, what are your can't live without supplies that you use all the time. I would love to know in the comments below to see what everybody's different supplies are that they cannot live without. And this will also help the people that are new, that, you know, and I suggest the people that are new to look in the comments and see what other people are using, because you might say, oh yeah, that I didn't think of that. So look in the comments and see what other people are saying that they're using, because you might get some ideas and you might get some, you know, might spark some inspiration. So yeah, definitely leave a comment letting me know and letting everybody else know what you use, because it's kind of important to share that information. It helps other artists who are thinking about getting started. It'll help them to decide what they should get. So that's it. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and don't forget the eclipses tomorrow. Woo! On Monday. I live right in the path of it, which I'm so excited for. Cannot wait, cannot wait, cannot wait. And also leave me a comment. Are you in the path of the eclipse? Are you going to the path of the eclipse? If you don't live in the path of the eclipse, where are you going to be viewing it? So I'll talk to you guys later. Make sure you do what you love and love what you do and be nice to people. And I will talk to you later. Bye!